So, good morning, active traders, and welcome to our Trading Week Ahead broadcast for today, June the 24th, 2023. I'm Ken Calhoun from TradeMastery.com, coming at you live here in Colorado with our latest and greatest updates on our charts and where things are headed next. And I've got a pullback off the 4440 back early on Friday, and you can see the markets dropped all week last week. If you remember, last Saturday, I told you it would be good to be cash over the weekend or in our inverses, and that was exactly right, because market clearly overbought there and the reversal is expected. What we want to look at next is where's the market going next week, and how do we take advantage of trading setups that make sense in our current market environment. Until proven otherwise, you should always assume that the most immediate recent week's trend will continue into the next week. So since we've had selling all last week, and it's been a great time to trade things like SQQQ and SOXS and so forth, we should expect that selling pressure will continue into next week as well. One thing that we want to start looking at is a VIX. So first thing, I'm going to use 40. Major professional support is going to be right here down in the 4,300. So right above 4,300 is major S1, and obviously R1 is up at the 4,460 at the high. Main thing to look at next week is what does the market do as it approaches, as it gets closer to 4,300? Does it keep going down or does it pivot? And one way, a tool to help you decide or forecast what's going to happen is take a look at the VIX, CBOE volatility index patterns as we reach that. So the key, let's see. The single most important data point to follow next week is VIX 15, all right? And I know what I'm talking about. The VIX gets over 15, we want to start going inverse and shorting the market, buying index puts, getting out of cash positions if you have any remaining in your longer term or short term trading portfolio. We may well see a strong drop in the market if and only if our VIX starts to get back over the 15, because that's a key support level in the VIX. As the market kept going up, it lost the 15. If the market goes down and it recovers 15, that'll be the beginning of a potential trend turnaround in the S&P. So if you see the VIX volatility index get over 15 and hold for at least 3 days, by the way, that's another Wall Streetism, is 3 days of pressure in one direction, the other confirms that it's likely going to be a strong continuation move, not just a single up and down chop. So if we see the VIX get over 15 and hold for at least a couple, 3 days, that may be a very strong sell signal in the market. So far, though, the market's been in a clean uptrend for quite some time, and the reversal up here at an overbought area may just be a consolidation, right? We may just chop around here in summer. So what I'm looking at also is our 50 SMA down here at the 4220. That'd be an S2. So not unless we get way down here do we call a break of the uptrend, but we do have an immediate short-term drop if we get under the 4,300. Now, the chart of the week that we looked at was Delta Airlines, or the mystery chart that I sent out to you via email last night. If you had an opportunity to look at it, was DAL. And what a chart, right? As travel has returned, Delta and Carnival Cruise Lines has also been a spectacular runner as well. But Delta is a really good takeoff chart. It's consolidated last week with the market dropping down. Market's gone down, it's held steady. If, however, it gets back over the 43 and a half, you may want to keep an eye on Delta Airlines next week for a potential trade setup. Let's take a look at a few other charts here, and then we will continue on. I've got an extremely busy personal schedule here. I'm doing a lot of home renovation, so I'm not going to be able to stay around for a very long time, but I did want to at least give you a quick heads up on some of the things that may be worthwhile looking at. NU was good. That was one that we called a week or two ago. One of you folks had mentioned it, and that's a good chart. And so we will see if that's able to run. Oh, wow, a lot of people wrote in. Wow. Oh, thanks, Dennis. I like that for the music. Hey, thanks, Polly, John, Stuart, Dimitri, Kat, Oscar, Paul, John. Yeah, I like Ford. Okay, we'll take a look at those. Let's take a look at the charts of your guys' choice and see which of those may make sense. Oh yeah, also a hot sector recently has been Bitcoin, right? So whether you're trading Coinbase, C-O-I-N, or Marathon, my favorite, M-A-R-A, or blockchain, R-I-O-T, Those are in motion, as well as the directional and inverse ETFs, BITI, and so forth. So let's see. I'm typing in tickers that you folks are typing in. Thanks for putting those up. We will see where they are. A lot of tickers from you guys. Thanks. Always fun to see what's on your guys' minds. TUL, sure thing, Kat. A lot of tickers here. Okay. Now remember, we want charts that are going up, or if they're going down, they must have gone down a significant amount, like got cut in half and are starting to bounce. But mostly we want charts that are nice, steady uptrenders. All right, so here's our charts from last week. Abercrombie and Fitch up there near NU. That's the kind of chart we like to trade around these here parts, things that keep going up. These are all picks from last week. EXTR, another winner, pulling back over the last week's weakness, but if it recovers at 25, keep that on the radar. Maybe our little chop, TRU, also up at a pullback. Sophie was a good runner until it wasn't, and Delta continues to look good. Now here's here's so far all the charts that you guys have mentioned. So at least most of them. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good chart. Let me take a look here. Now quite a few hundred, so we're trying to keep on top of this. Okay, so what we do is we look at these charts very quickly, we scroll through them, and see if they would be worth trading in the first place, and if so, some trade insights. All right, so let's see, ARCO, let's see, a range from 7 to 9. It's healthy, and what I like is the progressive increase of the size of the whole real body, the green candles. That means you got increasing range at increasing price, which means a lot of people want to buy it. So that looks good. I like that one over the 10. BT, also a good chart. That one's good. I think that's a Bitcoin, if I remember correctly. Anywhere north of 470, that looks good. Again, not a trade recommendation. This is just educational analysis, use only. Anyway, this thing tripled right from $1.50 to 4 and change. BT looks to be great. If it does continue on up, more power to you. We have another good chart. That's great. You guys are 3 for 3 so far, so that's cool. Is it worth trading? Absolutely. Good chart. That's Weave. This one is Plug. Now, we often cover this in the live room for day trading setups, but this would be a terrible place for a swing trade, obviously. So, no. PayPal. That's a terrible chart. PLTR. That's an awful chart. Too much selling pressure lately. TOL. It's okay, but the range isn't what I like. The direction is great. The trend is good. The leverage isn't quite so good, only going from 57 to 70. So you got to pay a lot of money for the percent gain you get in this, but it's still a good chart. So we'll keep that on the radar because the trend is so strong. Tesla, if it breaks the 280, yeah, Tesla, it's in a pullback right now, but if it gets back over the decade value of 280, so yeah, that'll pass. MCK, no, this one is a good example of a decent recent trend with terrible leverage, right? You'd have to pay $400 a share for something that at most could get you a fraction of the range there. So that one's too expensive per share to justify the leverage. This is a terrible chart. Let's see, this is the kind of chart that maybe people who've been drinking would look at, but not those of us who actually trade for a living. So no, don't drink and trade, kids. Not a good chart. Why would anybody in their right mind buy such a horrible chart? Okay, Ford. Yeah, Ford's good. I used to work for Ford as a statistician. Great company, great management, good people. My favorite American company I worked with. And Ford looks good if it breaks the 1480. We'll see if that new Lightning or whatever it is takes off. US Steel, Metals have been okay lately, but there's not enough range and it's still in a downtrend, so I'd leave US Steel alone. Gold has been up a bit lately. SAP, another example of a perfectly horrible chart. Number one, there's no discernible trend. Number two, it's too expensive per share and there's no leverage. Number three, it's a very haphazard, random gapping chart. This would be a chart where trading accounts go to die. So no, we don't trade that. BRBR, another horrible chart. See, we don't want to trade things that go sideways because you don't make money with that. VIST, too choppy. MSTR, you get stopped out on that too much. That's even worse. Horrible chart. FTNT. No, that's not enough leverage and it's too uncertain. Too many. The width, the range of the dips is too big to survive pullbacks, and you get stopped out on that kind of chart. So no. TMHC. The range is good, but I'd give it maybe a B minus. So it's an okay chart, but there's better ones out there. So out of all those charts, you guys came up with 6 that would pass test out of about 20 or so. So that's okay. So now let's go back to our charts in perspective. These are the ones that I approved from last week, and they've done well, of course. EXTR pullback here, that's kind of choppy. True pullback, Sophie. So now I'm narrowing the list down to the prime charts. What are the charts that actually really worth taking a shot at next week? That's a good one. That's too expensive though. So let's cut those out because they cost too much. And Ford's okay, but the leverage on this, Ford's the kind of thing you might have to stick into from like 3 or 4 or 5 months to get a few dollars out of. So nope. Okay, so that's our 7 top charts for next week. NU, ANF, EXTR, Delta. Actually, let's kill EXTR because it's pulling back. So our top 6 charts. Let's see if I can drop one more and we can get it down to 5. Focus is a good, important thing for an active trader. So, I like all of those. Is there anything particular about one over the other? No, those are all good and tradable. So those I would stand behind. If my life depended on me making money, trading, and making a good, healthy profit next week, those would be the ones I'd be looking at. All right. So good charts. Now, to wrap up, one thing that I thought I'd mention is you do want to be sure to join my live trading room at trademastery.com/live. There's always that to work with. And one thing you want to pay attention to, one of my single top pick for the upcoming couple of weeks ahead is the inverse semiconductor SOXs. And the reason is it might be a bit oversold and it's starting to bounce. And if you look at it, the volume on the upside lately has been exceptionally high. So we've got a good bounce in this, highly risky, leveraged ETF, but SOXs I think has big upside and it's had pretty good price action lately with people buying it all last week. It came up its 950 lows, now at 11. The good thing about this kind of chart is the risk reward ratio is terrific. You saw how big the thing ran. It's just in the low 20s on the 3-month and much higher on the longer term. Anyway, it's all the way down here near 10 a share and starting to pivot over that 10, and it's up at 11.5 with the doji in Friday's price action. We'll see if it breaks over 12 would be a key area that I'd be looking at, or that I'll be looking at for entries up at new highs and SOXs. Another one is our SQs, our inverse NASDAQ, and it too has been crushed down, but it's starting to bounce. Still, micro bearish engulfing. If it breaks 21, the whole number may be worth a look. Oil also has been on a bounce. Not did a reverse split. It had been down in the single digits and now it's here. But we had a really good day yesterday in it. Here, let's take a look at the intraday. Well, hard to see that. And so that's our intraday for Boyle from the morning when it was 61, 62 a share till the afternoon when it's up at 66 and a half. So a nice, almost 10% run in this thing, especially in the after. Well, actually, that was just in the morning. Let me fix this here for you guys. Often I like to zoom in on parts of the chart during the live room to help teach my traders patterns to look for. So there we go. Behold, the magic of Boyle. It's a natural gas long ETF, and it's been a huge runner, and I've been calling it long for my traders, along with our SOXs and others that I like heavily. So this is this one, and SOXS would be my two top picks. Not making trading recommendations, but Boyle, the recently reverse split Boyle up at 62 in the morning, 72 in the afternoon. That's how you make that's you could potentially do well as a trader, right? Anyway, that's a nice runner, and we'll keep that on the radar for next week, along with our SOXS, which also is a good runner. So I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap up for now, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I've got a lot to do around the house. We're doing home renovation, so it's a lot of work. So you guys take care. I wanted to wish you well. Stay safe out there. Trade smart, and do remember to go to my site at trademastery.com/live and register for the live trading room. It'd be great to work with you 5 days a week instead of just half an hour a week, and you get a lot more time. You can ask me questions. We can pull up charts. I do live alerts. I squawk out live alerts before something gets there. It's like, hey, we look for long here, like 15 cents up from where it's currently at. And once it runs up, I say, hey, we sell it all here before it goes back down. So I give you step-by-step walkthroughs, as well as examples, mostly for day trades, but also for swing trades as well. So see you in the live room. And until then, have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and best wishes for success in your active trades. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good weekend. Let's have fun.